What's going on, podcast family? Want to thank every single listener out there tuning in to the Stocks is Talking podcast with Ibn Getz. Very quick disclaimer, everyone. Please keep in mind, Ibn Getz, we are not financial advisors, people. We are simply two guys that love investing and we love to talk about it. At the end of the day, it's important to trade at your own risk. It's important to do what's best for your portfolio and always use discretion when trading in the markets. Welcome, world. Welcome to another edition of the Stocks is Talking podcast with Ibn Getz. I'm your co-host, Ibn. Guess what's going on with you?
What's poppin'? How you?
Man, I'm good, man. I can't complain. I'm ready to jump into it. I'm ready to dive in. It's episode 8. We rolling.
All right, let's do it.
We rolling. First things first. I had somebody in the Discord, actually. I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to do some little promotion off the break. If you're not following us on the Discord, if you haven't joined the discussion, you need to tap in with us because we're having some great discussion on the Discord. Am I lying, Getz?
You ain't lying.
Great convo. And somebody in the Discord recently mentioned, like, hey, I'm invested in quite a bit of cryptos, and I feel like they're less volatile and they're less of a risk than penny stocks. And when they said that, I was like, You know, I've invested in a few penny stocks. I think you have over the years, but I'm not going to speak for you, Getz. Yeah. I've invested in some penny stocks over the years that have completely flopped. They flopped for me. But I jumped in thinking maybe I can get rich quick, maybe something will happen, and nothing happens. So when she said that, I was like, you know what? That's something we might want to talk about on the pod. We haven't talked about penny stocks at all. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do a little penny stock talk. What are your thoughts? How are we feeling about penny stocks? I haven't dabbled in them in a while. It's been a little minute. I feel like crypto has kind of taken over the penny stock market, and now everybody's looking for the next crypto, not the next penny stock.
Crypto taking over every market. But
Word.
But I mean, I'm in one or two right now.
Okay.
It's definitely risky. I mean, there's people who make a lot of money trading penny stocks.
Day trading, right?
Yeah, you can day trade them. You can make a killing day trading them. You know, if you know that world, you know how to trade them. I never really got into doing that, but I have one or two companies that I'm holding with the hopes that they go from a penny stock to something larger.
Okay. What stocks you sitting on as far as penny stocks?
I think the one I got right now is the one I can remember is GGTTF. I think it is. It's a weed play. And
okay, that's a big industry, and that's something we haven't touched on. Like marijuana, we're waiting for that thing to go federally legal.
Right.
Once that happens, a lot of those plays are gonna take off. But go ahead, though.
Yeah, I mean, so my thing, I always stayed out of it because I see how that market works. You get these big run-ups, and then they come crashing down, and you get consolidation, companies merging and stuff like that. Whatever. It's still early, in that market. So I didn't really mess with them. The only reason I found this one appealing was the fact that the company's so small and they're starting to do all these deals. It's like, even if they were to get acquired, that'd be a positive catalyst, right? As long as, price. So you can see the number jump up. I think I got in at like 60 cents or something like that. So let's say it jumps to $1.50 because somebody's acquired them. All right, cool. I'm doing good. I got a gang of shares.
Right.
Or, they keep doing these deals. They just did a deal in Israel or something like that, which I don't even know how that works. How you, without that being federally legal, how they're able to do those deals. I don't know how that works, but they're doing deals all over the place. So they're not a play like Planet 13 where you get like the stores, on the Vegas Strip or nothing like that. But
True.
You know, it's a smaller bet. There's a risk involved, but if it pans out, then I'm sitting pretty.
Yeah. And that's what it's all about. With those penny stocks, about if it pans out. It's about looking into those industries or those markets that are lightly tapped into. And something like a marijuana play, I think a lot of people have been scheming on marijuana for years. Because the whole thing is like, hey, because as we all know, once upon a time, alcohol was illegal in the US. There was a whole prohibition thing. You had to go to a speakeasy to get your little alcohol, some underground shit. But then as the government found a way to tax and get their little money off of it, and I just read a story in Virginia, they're allowing restaurants to deliver alcohol and allow takeout for alcoholic beverages. And that's coming from the COVID wave. COVID happened, a lot of people weren't going to these restaurants. Now they're allowing you to, accept delivery for alcohol, pick up, take out, whatever. Now in Virginia, it's official. Some restaurants are allowed to deliver alcohol to you. They're allowed to allow you to take it with you home. That's something new from COVID. But the whole point is, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, the reason for it, right? Is because you had COVID, but if a lot of these restaurants and stuff, the margins are low. That's where they make their money, is the alcohol and stuff like that. Now, if you tell them they can't, because of the way the laws are structured, they can't move alcohol at all, all these companies are gonna die. So the government was sitting here trying to prop up the economy, and then it's like, all right, we got to come up with something, because how can we possibly, we can't prop up all these companies, right? So all these companies are gonna go away, and we got all these big corporations, but these big corporations, that's not what runs the economy. It's small businesses.
Yep.
If they all go away, then what happens?
It all crumbles.
Right. So they had to find a way, and they did.
And now you can have some Henny and Coke delivered to your house. It's crazy. And honestly, I feel like you mentioned to me a while ago about a company you use to deliver alcohol. Are they publicly traded, or is that more of a private company?
I believe they're private, but I think they got bought by somebody. So they may be part of a publicly traded company now. I'm not completely sure. I'm pretty sure they got acquired by, it actually might have been either Uber or Grubhub.
Really?
Yeah, I think it might have been one of those two, which are two publicly traded companies. So it's one of them. And I can look into it while we're talking, but then that's a play, that's a catalyst. And the company was small. I used to ask people just to see, what was the exposure for the company.
What was that company again?
Drizzly. Because you know what? One of my girl's friends told her about it as well, and I was like, oh, that's that company Guest told me about. So they definitely have some exposure, because you mentioned it, and I've heard it through the grapevine as well. Yeah, so Uber bought them.
Uber bought them.
Yeah,
that's a big play for Uber. Uber found a way to really monetize in so many different avenues. They dip their hands in the taxi pockets. They're now dipping their hands into the restaurant pockets. Because now you're not really, and it's crazy. I recently went to order some crab legs and some shrimp from this spot around the way, right? But I called them to place an order for pickup or for delivery. They said, no, we don't do delivery. You have to go on Grubhub or go on Uber Eats. And it's such a crazy nuance, because back in the day, you can call whatever restaurant and have them deliver. Now, as you see, the delivery drivers, that avenue is a little different now. If you want to be a delivery driver, you've got to go through Grubhub. You've got to go through Postmates. You've got to go through Uber. You can't just work for a company, a restaurant, and be a delivery driver. Back in the day when I was at Morgan for college, I was a delivery driver for Domino's. I'm not sure what that looks like for Domino's, but I know now what that looks like is you need to be an Uber Eats driver so that you can kind of do deliveries for all these different restaurants.
I feel like it's a win-win. For who? Because the company, for the companies and for the drivers. Because think about it, for the companies, I'm pretty sure there was something I was listening to or reading where they were talking about delivery actually eating into the margins, right? Okay. So you're actually losing some money doing the deliveries. You know, you're paying the drivers and this and that, whatever. But now, if you can put that on somebody else's back, and all you got to do is worry about, you know, making the food. Plus, you have the markups that they have in these delivery apps, right? Because you're getting charged more. So I don't know if they're getting, you know, a higher cut, you know, just doing that. And for the drivers, they're their own boss now. So instead of making minimum wage or whatever it may be, right? And hoping, you know, hopefully you make good tips, right? That's kind of how it works. Instead of that, now you got the world is your oyster. As long as people are ordering, you know, it doesn't matter where they're ordering from. If one restaurant's slow and another's busy, you can still get it.
Yep, exactly. So I feel like it's a win-win, not only for the restaurants, not only for the drivers, it's a win-win for the consumer as well that's ordering. Because there's something is always going to be available for you, like you mentioned. There's always going to be somebody delivering.
Yeah.
Like, we had smoothies delivered to the house a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I always think that's weird, doing any kind of drinks or anything. Like, I think about, like, the driver going down the street with the straw in your joint. Just, you know, let me try a little of this flavor, a little, you know.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it all the way live with you, and I'm not gonna put my man on blast with his name. I specifically know a person that used to do Uber Eats, and I would be talking to him while he's on the phone grubbing on people's food. It's not a joke. Like, this is no lie. Like, he would get full off of people's food that he's driving to him. Take a fry here, take some calamari here, take a little sip of this here. And I swear, and it's so funny because now when I get delivery sent over, I see they'll tape up the where you put your straw in for the cup. They'll tape that up now. When you have your bag, they'll staple that shit. And I'm like, yo, I swear this is because my man was out here crushing people's food. They're like, all right, we've gotten too many complaints. We need to staple these bags. We need to lock down the straw hole so can't nobody get into this. So so I say that to say, don't worry, because people cannot get into your food that easy now. Like, they've put something in place to prevent that. Because my man was out here crushing people's food.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Consistently. Like, eating good. Like, we talk about eating good in the market. He was eating good on Uber Eats. Delivering.
And getting paid to do it.
But it's the American way, you know? Loopholes.
Yeah.
Loopholes.
Yeah.
So.
Ask forgiveness, not permission.
Yep. Word. Do what you can till you can't no more.
Right.
So look, speaking of penny stocks, I'm in a few small time like penny joints that I'm just sitting on. Are you familiar with Sundial?
Yep. Ain't that another? Is that a weed play?
It's a weed play. So kind of like we talk about often, they call me Crypto Ed because I've been out here buying up a lot of cryptos because that's like the space where I feel like a lot of things are headed towards. But I'm also looking at what are those other industries that have yet to take off, but if they take off, I want to be a part of it. One is weed, the marijuana industry. And, you know, it's no longer a thing with marijuana or weed where it's like you can't talk about weed anymore. Like, that shit is legal in New York. We're walking around out here in Manhattan today. You smell weed all around. And that shit's starting to become normalized. You know, back in the day, you could be in a restaurant, people are smoking a cigarette. They've kind of dialed back on that, but now you're smelling marijuana wherever you go. If it's legal, you smell it. So my thing is, if it's legal in all these states, what happens when that shit becomes federal?
Right.
When it becomes federal, I want to be a part of that wave, kind of like the crypto. If we ever end up moving to a situation where crypto is the primary currency, I have my feet dabbled in quite a bit of cryptos to take off with that. Same with the weed. So Sundial, yes, that's a marijuana play. I'm in on Sundial, symbol SNDL. And again, I'm not advising anyone to buy Sundial. I'm just letting you know what's in my portfolio. Again, Ibn Getz, we are not financial advisors. We're two guys that love to talk investments We love to talk about it back and forth, but you always got to do what's best for your portfolio. You always got to trade at your own risk and be mindful. Do your due diligence before you make any plays. But as we're talking, I'm just bringing people into what am I doing? I got Sundial. I have this other one, or where's it at? MedMen Enterprises, MMNFF. It's trading at 31 cents right now. But that's another marijuana play. So it's like I'm in on a lot of these little penny stock marijuana plays, because if the shit ever goes federal, well, once it goes federal, which one of these is going to be the one to take off and go from 31 cents to $200, in a month or two? Not to say that's something feasible, but it could happen. You never know. Yeah. I just got my hands in it. So that's another one that I'm messing with.
Yeah, and you got the big ones like Planet 13, right? And
I'm not familiar with Planet 13.
So Planet 13 has stores. I know they're in Vegas, and I believe they just started opening up in LA or something. Or in Cali somewhere. Okay. So and the numbers are crazy. So my thing is, and I still got to do some more research, but if you look at like Planet 13, and if you look at their market cap, right, they're still small, but if you look at their market cap, and then if you go and look at, like any of the ones you said, or like the one I was talking about, GGTTF, G-Tech Holdings, that's the name of it. You see the huge difference in the market cap, right?
So Planet 13's market cap is 1.12 billion. I just saw that on Yahoo Finance. Just looked them up.
Yeah, and GGTF's market cap is 64 million.
GGTO?
GGTTF.
TTF. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm adding these to one of my watch lists as well. I want to get into that at some point in the pod, but I'm adding that to one of my watch lists right now.
Yeah. So if you look at that, right, you got this market cap that's 20 times smaller.
Okay.
But it's a company that, from my understanding of it, they have no debt. Right? They're doing deals.
How is that possible?
I'd have to look more into it. I think they might have done a stock offering at some point and paid off their debts.
Okay.
But it dilutes the shares, obviously, right? So, but you got a company they're running lean. They paid off their debt. They're doing deals so that the revenue's growing. But they're doing it without debt, which is crazy for a company that's in growth mode. A lot of companies in growth mode, they're living off debt.
Exactly. They're borrowing all over the place.
Right. Which is what hurts you in a market like what we're in right now. Right? When the inflation comes, money starts to cost more. So now people are going to start getting out of those things because the growth, you can't grow so fast if the money is costing you more. Right.
Right.
But this company's running without debt. So I'm like, if they can keep growing and keep growing at a steady clip with low debt or no debt, then the future's bright for them. So that's my thing with them. So, and that's just a little I know about them. I kind of just took a waiver on them, just decided to just try and just see what happens. It ain't making me nothing yet, and I'm not worried about it. I'm just sitting on it.
Yeah, it's long term. Those penny stocks, unless you're on some day trading, and when you're day trading penny stocks, you've got to be heavy into charts. Am I wrong? Like you've got to know what you're doing with the charts if you want to get in and out. You've got to be paying attention to those support levels, those resistance levels. Yeah. So many different chart patterns you need to watch out for. Speaking of chart patterns, I think I sent it to you recently. If you're out there and you really want to get into charts and understand it from a technical standpoint, what to look for, you've got to get the Candlestick Bible. The Candlestick Bible.
Yeah, you was talking about that.
Yeah, the Candlestick Bible will break down so many different patterns for you in terms of what you're looking for. If you're looking for the cup and handle, if you're looking for a doji, if you're looking for, it's so many. I'm not gonna get too deep into it right now, but just Google the Candlestick Bible. Find that thing and Google it and look it up, and you're gonna get a whole lot of good information to help you from a technical standpoint. Because when we talk about that smart money, it's not just about hearing what's the latest trend, what's the latest news. It's about this sitting in front of your laptop and what are the charts and the patterns telling you right now? What is Lady Market telling you to do or telling you not to do? Patterns, candlesticks. That's the nugget for the day, or at least the nugget for the moment. You know, we might drop a few more as we talking, but that's definitely one to look into. Have you ever checked that out yet?
I haven't checked it out. I definitely am gonna. I'm definitely gonna check it out. Especially now, you know, getting back more into my trading and everything. And using my charts, you know, I'm getting back into that vibe, you know, just sitting down and going over charts and stuff like that, you know. And you know, I was actually sitting down with one of my kids the other day, actually on a trade. We talked about it on a wrap up. I made a couple of trades, and I had one that was a lovely trade, did well. Then I had one where I took a loss on it. I gave back some of the gains. And I was actually sitting down with him because we've gone over a lot of trading and stuff like that. So we you know, I'm in this trade and I'm like, yo, this trade's going against me. I say, yo, look at this chart, and I show it to him. And you know, and because I mean, he's nice with the chart, so I'm like, he's looking at it and he's like, I see it, you know, it's gonna go down, but I think it's going up first. And I'm like, I kind of, you know, and this is my fault. I kind of brushed it off, you know. I'm doing a million other things, and I'm just like, you know, whatever. I'm good, you know. And I end up taking an L on it. So I'm like, all right, you know, I need to just let him run my account. But yeah, but you know, that's what I'm back into that, you know, staring at these charts. I was sitting here earlier going over charts. I'm looking at crypto charts, you know.
Where are you checking out the crypto charts at? Like, what platform are you using?
TradingView. Yeah.
That's the new one that you keep pinging me about lately, Gex. TradingView. How'd you come across it? And like, what about TradingView is, I guess, that thing that look into outside of bar charts, Yahoo Finance, Schwab? Like, what is it about TradingView you really messing with?
Yeah, so TradingView, they got there's a lot of information there, and that's great. But all I care about is the charts. So, and I think they have really good charts, and you can chart anything. You know, the issue with a lot of places, like, you know, for most of my charts, I would always use Thinkorswim, which is part of that TD Ameritrade, right?
Yep.
You can't do the cryptos. You know, there's certain things you just can't do. So I've been looking for a platform where I could get good charts for everything. Okay. So I forget how I found it, but I've noticed a lot of, you know, there's a lot of traders using it. So I was on TradingView looking at some stuff, but then I noticed I was watching something and somebody was going over some charts, and I always look to see what they're using if I like the charts. Okay. And I realized it was TradingView. And I'm like, I didn't know TradingView could do that. So I go and do my research and get into the charts, and they have, you know, free level, paid level, all that stuff. So I'm in here just using the free level, and I'm putting indicators on all my moving averages and things like that. And I'm like, this is perfect. You know, I'm in here looking at, you know, the cryptos. I said, let me, you know, pull up a chart and see just what the cryptos look like. Yeah. And I pull it up and I'm like, man, it's actually what the other day when I tried to make that ADA play, I was on TradingView. Okay. You know, so that pullback that was happening the other day, and that I saw that buy, you know, that entry point on ADA, you know. So, and that's when I was like scrambling trying to get some money in on ADA, and I had the issue with the bank, and they wouldn't go through,
which is wild.
Yeah, but you know, it's off of TradingView. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm going over, you know, charts, you know, early, and like I said, and it's like looking at Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, you know, Bitcoin looks like it's going into you know,
Bitcoin
what do you call it?
Has dropped because it's a major pullback on them right now.
Bitcoin looks like it's in a correction. It's ugly right now.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
So, but there's a lot of other cryptos that are looking good, you know. I was looking at ADA. You know, ADA looks like their uptrend looks like it's accelerating. You know,
Yep.
I was looking at XRP. XRP's down some, but it's still that uptrend. You know, it's like I don't know. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, you know, I just bought some, and I'm still up. But I'm like, yeah, I might buy some more. I don't know yet, you know, because I'm like this XRP is kind of like at that point where it's like it could go either way, you know.
I'm thinking about buying some more XRP and ADA, mainly ADA because that news that came out where, you know, Elon talked about, hey, we're gonna stop accepting Bitcoin because of the detriment to the environment. And then I think it was ADA's CEO executive tweeted Elon. I think you mentioned this, like, hey, you looking for us? Because they're trying to say that ADA is one of those cryptos that does a lot less damage to the environment, and that's kind of what Tesla's looking for. A lot of people thought when Tesla or when Elon pretty much canceled Bitcoin as far as accepting Bitcoin for Teslas, everyone thought Doge was next up.
Right.
Everyone thought Doge was next up, but what ended up taking off? ADA, Cardano, or Cardana, one of them. ADA is the symbol. So because of that reason, I'm considering buying more, but they're in the uptrend right now. They're in the green. I don't like buying anything if it's going up at the moment.
Right.
Once I get that conviction, I start watching it and I'm scoping it, waiting for it to pull back. So when it pulls back, I can jump in. ADA, it had a little correction earlier today, actually. ADA got down to as little as $2.02. Now it's back up to $2.27. Yeah, it did. It definitely did. But I honestly was looking at it like I think I want to see it pull back to under $1, because that's when I initially bought like $200 worth.
Under $1?
Yeah, I got not under $1, but it was $1 and some change.
Okay, and that's my thing, you know. But here's my thing: if low, you know, I it's like because the uptrend looks like it's accelerating. I mean, I want to see a pullback, but if I had seen it go to like 202, like you said, I probably would have bought some. Even though I'm in, you know, at just over $1, you know, I probably would have bought some just because that would have been, I would have looked at that as a healthy correction with the uptrend that it has, you know. So I probably would have bought more, you know. I mean, anything.
Today's episode is brought to you by Nice Touch Editing Services. Nice Touch Editing is your one-stop shop solution for all of your content writing and editing needs. Whether you're an author looking for an editor for your book manuscript, you need a resume and cover letter to go after that new job opportunity, or if you're a small business looking to go after that latest government contract, Nice Touch Editing is the premier writing and editing solution. Feel free to reach out. www.nicetouchediting.com. Nice Touch Editing Services. Now that's a nice touch.
$80, I'm starting to wonder, you know, if I should buy or not. So consider it. But if it goes below like 160, then I'm not buying. I'm waiting to see if the trend is changing. Yeah. You know, because if the trend could, if it were to drop right now down to 160, then we could have a reversal. You know, and you know, we've already talked about this. I don't do bag holding, so I'm not gonna be buying more. You know, as much as I want to get in at a lower price, I gotta see. You know, I gotta see show and prove. I gotta see that the trend is gonna hold.
That's true.
So if it drops too low too fast, well, I gotta make sure that, you know, that we're not going through something like what we're going through with Bitcoin right now. You know, and it's just gonna run down, because I mean, it breaks 160. I mean, you're gonna see, 140, then then 120, and it's, so if I don't want to be part of that trend reversal with more money.
Right.
So
But with something like Bitcoin, are we concerned about the future outlook of Bitcoin? Or are we looking at this as a time to buy in and cost average down?
Well, my thing right now with Bitcoin is the fact that the charts are telling me that when we're going into a correction, that that it's reversing, and we're entering a downtrend right now. So I don't want to buy right now because it looks like it's going to go down further.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's my only issue. I need to see that this is going to stop. This bleeding is going to stop and it's going to go back up. But you have all this manipulation going on.
Right.
So we got to get past that.
And I think the biggest catalyst for it pushing, and we always come back to this same influencer, you know who I'm about to say? Elon Musk. Yep. Elon Musk, the most recent news is now there's a rumor that Tesla and Elon are dumping all their shares of Bitcoin, or dumping a good amount of it, or they may dump it, which is why now everybody's dumping along with them, following his path. Yeah,
it's so crazy because I feel like you have all these people who follow this person. He does, he has this huge cult following.
Yep.
And I don't think any of this is him because I feel like someone who is intelligent enough to start actually, let me correct that, right? Because even though he's considered a founder, he didn't found Tesla. Somebody else did.
I wasn't tracking that. What you mean?
Somebody else started Tesla, but I think maybe it went to court or something like that, whatever. He's considered a founder. He didn't start Tesla. But that's neither here nor there, right? But he got Tesla to where it is today.
Right.
That's what's up. All right. He started SpaceX, as far as I know. He started, or he was one of the founders of Neuralink. He started the Boring Company. He's doing all these things, all these amazing things, in my opinion. Now, and he has all this influence. People are in Tesla. They're invested in Tesla, not because of Tesla, but because of him. If he walked away tomorrow, Tesla would tank. That's the long and short of it. Tesla would tank. It doesn't matter, who else there is and what the company's still capable of. They, and with the right talent, they probably come back. But look at the amazing run that stock has had.
Yeah.
That's because of the cult following of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right? For you to have a stock that, think about it, right? They did a 5-for-1 split, or was it 10-for-1? I forget. But they did a split. And for the stock to be
5-for-1.
Okay, yeah, 5-for-1. So think about it. Even at its current price, that's trading at over 25, almost $3,000, right? It would have for one share before the split. You're talking about a company that's valued higher than pretty much every other car company in the world. Actually, pretty much more than almost every other company in the world, besides Apple, Microsoft, Google, right? That's valued so high, but produces 100,000 cars a year,
which ain't much.
It ain't much. They made, I think what the profit was, maybe 200-300 million last year. Nothing to sneeze at for me or you.
Yeah.
The company valued that high. Tesla is valued this high because of Elon Musk. So you have someone. So for someone like that to be so irresponsible in their words, I feel like there's more to it. I honestly don't think that this was his choice. I think this might have been his board, because remember, he's CEO. He got removed from the board by the SEC, right? After last time he got in trouble.
Forgot about that. That's big too. That's definitely big to know.
Yeah. So you have a board of directors, and he is no longer the chairman. right? So I feel like he got a little slap on the wrist.
Yeah, his strings are being pulled in the background.
That's what it is to me. And now he had to back down some. So now it started with, oh, we're not going to accept Bitcoin because of environmental impact, which we talked about on a wrap up. I think that's right. Because if you're mining Bitcoin, you're trying to. I understand it's not just the mining, but it's the transactions too, right? They all use the same that power. They all need that electricity, to run that network.
Yep.
You mean to tell me this man who was smart enough to quote unquote found Tesla and SpaceX and the Boring Company and all these other ones, you mean to tell me that he wasn't smart enough to figure out the environmental impact before he invested in Bitcoin, before he had his publicly traded company invest in Bitcoin? Come on now.
And put it out there to the masses that they were investing in Bitcoin.
Yeah. And knowing that it's gonna, you know that's gonna manipulate the market. You know that's gonna move the market. So you mean to tell me you didn't know that ahead of time? I don't believe it.
That's true. But Elon doesn't come off to me as someone that would have let anybody kind of push him to say anything he don't want to say. He doesn't come off as that type to me. Though I get it, when you have a board that's running certain shots, you do have to a certain extent, kind of go with the flow.
Yeah,
I get that.
He
just didn't come off as the type that allowed nobody bullying him into some shit.
Yeah. But my thing is, if you run this huge company that you've put blood, sweat, and tears into, right? That is changing the world, because now everybody's following suit. You can say whatever you want about Tesla, but Tesla is changing the game for automotive, and I think, to a certain degree for solar, right? Because Tesla, they have the electric car. There's no other electric car company that survived before them. Now, everybody and their mother is trying to get into electric car game, right? That's why you have the Neos, the Liatos, the Xpeng. That's why GM's going heavy with it again, even though GM could have done this years ago, but they chose not to. They did it as a marketing ploy, maybe to appease somebody in the government, and then you took all the cars
all the time,
right? But they had an electric car years ago, and they only did it as a lease, and then they took them back and they crushed them. So it's like that was all marketing, and people didn't want to give those cars back, but they did. But all I'm saying is Tesla changed the game. So you're telling me that this person who is changing these things, fundamentally changing the electric car game, space exploration with SpaceX, reusing rockets, that wasn't a thing. Landing rockets, that wasn't a thing. He's landing them on ships, reusing them. He's sending astronauts into space. He's talking about sending Doge to the moon, this, that, whatever.
Literally.
Right? And now for him so you didn't know ahead of time that about the environmental impact, which I don't agree with what you're saying about the environmental impact, but you didn't know ahead of time. So, but at the same time, you're pumping Doge.
Yeah. Been pumping it heavy. Man.
Pumping it heavy. You're working with the developers and this and that. Nah, I'm not feeling it.
They recently came out with something saying that he's been working with the developers for years on I guess like a better transaction or function with Doge or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's so crazy, and he got a lot of backlash. I seen something earlier. There's a lot of CEOs of the like mining companies and stuff like that. They all came back at him, on his words, about, because he's coming out basically saying I'm working with Doge to make it better. But then, some of them even said, okay, so everything you're saying you're working on with Doge to make it better. Why not just do it with Bitcoin?
Yep. Right.
So,
right.
Like you're basically trying to rig the game.
And it's not working.
I mean, to an extent, it is. Bitcoin's dropping.
True.
Bitcoin's dropping. I mean, Doge is holding.
Yeah, Doge has kind of been sideways for the last week or two, but it's holding a certain level.
Yeah, that 50 level holds.
Yep.
You know, that 50 level just keeps on holding, you know. But I don't know what the end game is, man. I'd really like to. I'd like to know. Like,
but it's kind of a wait and see thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting to see.
Yeah. It sucks.
It sucks. Everybody's waiting to see what happens with that. Also, everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen with the economy in general. Because I'm not sure if you're tracking, the world is opening back up, or the U.S. is opening back up. I know out here in New York, in July, New York is supposed to be opening back up fully. Even though I ain't gonna lie, I was out in Manhattan today, and there was a lot of people out. So to tell me that New York's not open, I don't really see that, because it's a lot of folks out shopping, lines packed. Like, it's ridiculous out here in New York right now. So the shit is already open, in my opinion, but I guess clubs and things staying open a little bit later is going to happen in July.
It's about the capacity, right? So, you know, these places can't go to full capacity yet, but you know, that, so they're saying they're gonna, you know, and then you got, you know, the CDC comes out and says, oh, fully vaccinated people, it don't matter, you don't need masks no more, this, that, and third, whatever, right? You know, and you can get into all the issues with that whole thing, with every, you know, all the back and forth of everything that they've said, right? How can you trust these people? But
that's what I'm saying. That shit don't sound right, but that's for another discussion.
Yes, I ain't gonna hold you. So now, all right, everything's opening back up. That's cool. I don't know what they're gonna do about the whole mask mandates and stuff, if they're gonna drop the mask mandates and all that, because everybody's not getting vaccinated.
And how do you know who has a vaccine and who doesn't? So I can tell you, hey, I got a vaccine, so now I don't gotta wear masks. That could be bullshit.
Like, well, yeah, but I mean, they got they got the vaccine cards, right? So
vaccine cards, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess that's gonna be like your like your ID to get in the club now.
The vaccine card.
Vaccine card, something, I don't know, but I mean, they already saying internationally you're not gonna be able to fly pretty much without it. I think it's gonna be the same thing for getting on the cruises, because the cruises, you can get on cruises outside of the US. You just can't get on a cruise in the US right now. So you can fly somewhere else and get on a cruise.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, all right, cool. That's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be a big catalyst for the cruise lines. And there's going to be people, they're going to go get vaccinated just because they want to travel. They want to go out and do things, you know what I'm saying? And it sucks because it's manipulation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to travel as well, but I need some more time for that vaccine to hit and see what people's reactions are 2 years from now, a year and a half from now. I don't want to go and get a vaccine just so I can hop on the flight. Then 3 years later, I see the damn commercial that's saying, if you took the Johnson & Johnson vaccine in 2 years ago, you might have a lawsuit if you're now experiencing mesothelioma or some wild shit. Like, I don't want to be that person.
But you know, or you know, at least, you know, you ain't here, but your family can get the check. But I mean,
word, so, like, I don't want that.
Yeah. So this is my thing. Everything's opening. It's gonna happen. The whole thing is, around the world, economy suffered. Yep. So no matter what, at the end of the day, they're going to correct that. Mm-hmm. They need the money coming back in, instead of, because the money's been flowing out. You know, especially in the U.S., we basically have a universal income right now with the way that they're handing out money.
I think I put out a joint in the Discord today where somebody specifically mentioned that. It was the, and I'm gonna tell you right now, who was this cat? Gunlack. I don't know who this dude is. I'm about to look into it as you're talking. But yeah, bottom line, he mentioned about how the stimulus checks are opening the door to universal basic income. And this is like a big CEO of a company saying that. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
damn, get to just mention that shit last week.
Yeah. This is, and we're not. This ain't a political podcast. We're not going to get into that, but it's something that, it's been talked about over and over for years about universal basic incomes and stuff like that. So, if you read between the lines, it's doing it now. So you have all the stimulus checks and this and that, and for the people who need it, that's great. I'm glad that everybody got what they needed. Honestly, I don't think it was enough. I don't see what that really helps. If somebody sends you because Congress can't agree on nothing. So if somebody sends you a check every 6 to 9 months
for $1,200,
for $1,200, I don't. And then they go put out press releases and this and that, and they're on TV like that. The American people needed this. It's like they needed a lot more. B,
a whole lot more than your little $1,200, $1,400.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully
$1,600 max.
Yeah, hopefully they invested, with what they got and grew it. But but everything's open now, so now they can get the money flowing back into the coffers, right? You gotta get the economy running again, and that's what it comes down to. So, I mean, everything's already packed, traffic's already crazy.
Yep.
Now they're just gonna open the world up, and we'll see where it goes. And but that's we already have inflation. The inflation numbers are crazy, and now you're gonna open everything back up. So be prepared to pay way more for everything, because people already don't know how to act. Buying up all the gas, toilet paper, everything else.
Man,
right?
As we talked about on the wrap up,
being
silly.
Yeah. So, I mean, the inflation is I feel like the inflation, it's going to get hotter, just like that summertime heat, things are just going to get hotter, because now you open things back up, and they're already talking about there's a shortage of workers because you have universal basic income. So you have there's jobs available, but there ain't nobody to take the jobs. I mean, which if I could collect a check and sit at home, then I'd be collecting a check. For me, that's trading. But if I could, if somebody was gonna send me a check and I could chill in the crib, then that'd be me all day. Like I would love it. But
you just said something. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Go ahead, because
you just said something, because again, we're always talking about this smart money mentality, and you saying it was something you kind of breezed by it. You said this summertime heat is coming. So when you say something like summertime heat, I'm like, you know what? Summer is coming. It is about to get hot as fuck outside. What kind of companies should we be looking into investing in to capitalize on that summertime heat? Like, what companies are out there? Like, are there air conditioning companies we should be looking into, like infrastructure companies that their money time is summertime? What company should we be looking into? And I'm not even saying either one of us have it. I'm just saying, as we're talking, I'm like, you know what? Come tomorrow, I might want to start looking into some companies that maybe they manufacture air conditions, or they they do stuff like that, because we're now in the summertime. Just like
you know what? You just a crazy idea.
Okay.
All right, summertime's coming. Yep. Every summer California's on fire, literally, right?
Literally. Word.
So, and the power, they're gonna be shutting down power, all that stuff. There's a company I've been watching, and they did good all winter because of you had the whole thing with Texas, and you had all these crazy winter storms, all this stuff. Generac, the generator company, right?
Generac. I'm looking them up.
NRC. Now you just gave me an idea, because now I'm thinking, all right, this company, they've been doing good. Stock's down a little bit right now. Actually down a lot right now from its highs. Crazy to me to get into this company before this real summertime heat. Yeah. Before California catches on fire. Yeah. and they shut off the power to everybody.
Mm.
To get in now,
Are you looking at buying them for a long term, or are you looking at like an option play?
I mean, long term, I think the company's great for long term.
Okay.
But I'm thinking maybe an options play that's like 6 months, maybe even going a year, because there's so many catalysts. I'm thinking maybe elite because Generac's down so much, and at the same time, you have catalysts all year long for why you need a generator, right?
True.
But so you had the Texas during the winter, you had the Texas thing, right?
Yep.
Texas froze, which was crazy.
Yeah.
During the summer, and I could be wrong because maybe people in California are used to it. I mean, the people who still live there, because everybody's leaving because of the taxes.
Taxes crazy.
Yeah, so maybe the people who are there already have their generators, but maybe not. You're gonna have those people that's the last minute, or the businesses who start installing generators. And this is a company that's what they do. I think they actually do storage now too, like electric storage. So like what Tesla does with the power walls with the battery storage.
Okay.
I think Generac might do something like that now too. So if he was like, yeah, we'll give you the generator, the storage for your power, and all that.
That's a good point, Dex.
Yeah, it's hurricanes. You know what? I'm on the site now. 2021 hurricane preparedness guide. It's like, yeah. So and they do have it. Power cell.
Okay.
So you can have your backup power. You could, you have your storage. Yep. So I mean,
these are those things.
Yeah, it just hit me when you said it. Like Generac might be the wave.
Or even a company, and I'm just kind of spitballing shit as we're talking, even a company that installs pools or something with pools, because now summertime's getting hot. Maybe people need their pools cleaned and they need pools installed. I'm just throwing shit out here because this is the way you need to think as an investor, How can you capitalize on that environment? Now we're going into the summertime.
We talked about pools for a second on either I think it was the last pod maybe. Because I actually did a couple plays on with the pools with Hayward, who makes the pool equipment, and there's I forget the name of the other company.
I'm about to look up Hayward.
Yeah, but there's another one, Leslie Pools, I think it is. So yeah, Leslie. So you have these companies who, it's like, I mean, this is another thing with inflation, right? So people creating inflation. So with the pools, with Texas is a warm state. It's a hot state, right? People have pools. Yep. Texas froze. So all these people with pools, all their pools got damaged. So they all got to call these companies, to deal with this. Right. So you already had a catalyst for the pools before summer. So you had that pull forward, right? Which we've talked about.
The pull forward effect. I think that's episode 3 or 4. Go back and check it.
Yeah. So instead of people doing their normal maintenance later in the year, they're calling the pool companies now, like, you got to get out here and fix, my broken pump, or this or that, the pipes burst, whatever it may be, right? Because there's a lot, especially for think about the people who didn't maintain their pools, who didn't put in the antifreeze or do those things that like they were supposed to, right? So the lines didn't freeze or anything like that, which I would think somewhere in Texas maybe they don't do it because you're warm pretty much all year. So you might have people where it's like, all your pipes need to be replaced, all you need new pumps, you need this, you need that. So you already have the catalyst there. Plus they were talking about the chlorine shortage, which so a factory burned down that made something for the chlorine.
Where at?
I forget where it was, but so I think the factory burned down last year though.
Okay. So
now the issue is the media been been pumping the story about a chlorine shortage. So what may not have been a chlorine shortage turned into a chlorine shortage because the media pumped it. So everybody showed up buying what chlorine they could get.
Yep.
So they created inflation in that market, right? So
same shit happening with the gas right now.
Right. So the pool game's gonna be booming probably all summer, right? They're not gonna be able to get the supplies they need. There's probably a backlog of people trying to get work done and everything else, and maintenance, whatever, right? I know even last year, because people were home, we couldn't get anything for our pool. We wanted to replace our pool. We couldn't replace it. We couldn't get anything we needed to maintain our pool because everybody was home and they were buying everything.
Yeah.
You know? So it was crazy, already crazy. And now you're going through it again this year. You know, so that's just something to think about. Like, yeah, you're right. I think the pool game is going to be the wave. You know, there's definitely going to be plays in the pool game. I think there's going to be plays in the generator game. What else though? You're right. There's, I mean, everything's opening back up. The malls. I hear the malls are already booming. So you could be talking about Simon. You know, Simon's group. You know, that was a big one for me. I invested in them. I did well with them. I think I actually might still have them in my dividend account.
Simon's 22 right now.
Yeah, Simon's booming. You know, I think I first got into them when they were in like the 70s or something like that.
Damn, their 52-week low was $53.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I did really well. But if the things are opening back up, yeah, Simon is one, because especially people been cooped up, so they're gonna want to do things like that, even if it's just going to the mall.
Everyone wants to get back outside.
They just want to get back outside. You know, another one, you know, Live Nation.
Okay.
The concerts.
That's a big one. The concerts are coming back. Slowly but surely. I wonder if they're gonna put this vaccine into play with the concerts though. Like, you gotta have the vaccine card to get into a concert.
I listened to a couple of their earnings calls. They haven't mentioned it.
Okay.
But you never know. I feel like they're not gonna want to alienate anybody.
Yeah, they want everyone to come. Even if you get COVID while you're there, fuck it. Come
Yeah.
party with us.
Yeah, like they'll have another concert 2 weeks later, you know. Come back when you're good.
Yeah. You'll be good in 2 weeks, you know, isolate yourself, come back out to the next one.
Yeah.
Do it all over again.
Exactly. You know, so I feel like Live Nation, I've been watching them for a while.
Okay.
It looked like they just boomed on Friday. So they went up a good amount. So they might have had earnings. I'm not sure, but yeah, Live Nation is definitely one. There was still the last earnings call I listened to. They were basically saying it's still going to be a little while before they're back to doing concerts, because their thing was, we're not going to do small concerts.
Okay.
Like, we're going to chill on the sidelines for now, and. You know, if you want to do the little concert, you know, with a couple people there, that's cool. That's for you. But we're gonna sit on the sideline basically until we can get the stadiums going again. Stuff like that.
Okay.
So
they want the big time shit.
Yeah. I mean, and look at the artists that work with Live Nation. You know, think about it. I think they own half of Rock Nation. So, you know, they're not doing nothing small. You know, when they do, everyone that they work with is big artists.
Yeah, you're looking at J. Cole, Rihanna,
Jay-Z. Every deal he's done with them has been like at least a couple $100 million. Right? Yeah. You know, so over so many years. So it's like they do these big deals, you know, so I think that's their big thing. It's like, yeah, we do these deals, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna sit on, you know, we're gonna sit on it until we can do what we do.
Right.
So I ain't mad at that at all. I mean, and they're still off of the 52-week highs, which,
they are.
You know, looks like it's around like 94, something like that.
Okay.
So, but with that move up they just had, I mean, they're looking good for it to. They were already in an uptrend, but they pulled down a little bit, but this might put them back in that uptrend. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Live Nation is one. Just, I mean, like you said, there's so many plays for the market opening.
Post-COVID plays.
For the world. Yeah. Which, I mean, and there's been plays, and because you mess with the cruise lines and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Still sitting on them, on quite a few of them, and the airlines.
Airlines, that's what. Yeah, I'm sitting on
just waiting.
That's just waiting.
Mm-hmm. We're waiting on the airlines. We're waiting to see what all these travel stocks do with the cruise lines, the airlines. We're looking at now the malls. What's going to happen when everything opens up? But I think the big thing, and this is something I've been doing for a while, and I think for the listeners out there, if y'all want to be those smart money investors, what are your watch lists looking like? You feel me, Getz?
Yeah.
What watch list do you have in place? Like, what are you waiting to see? Like for me, and I'm gonna just tell you straight up, I've got quite a few watch lists. I hold my watch list in Yahoo Finance. Getz, I don't know. I'm sure you have watch lists. I don't know what your watch list are looking. You said what?
I got a gang of them.
Yeah, I bet you do. I mean, that's. I mean, most cats that are out here really investing and trying to make money either for the short term or the long term gain, you have watch lists because those watch lists are going to help you make those decisions. Instead of going and searching every single day for a new play, I'll just go look at my watch list. So I'm gonna run through right now what my watch list look like. And I actually created a new one, Gets, while we were on the pod. You know what that one's called? Summertime plays. Because again, as we're on this pod, and a lot of people might feel we just talking shit because we're on a podcast. These are real life conversations. So as we're talking, I'm literally getting new game and new knowledge and making decisions as we're talking. So when we started talking about the summertime plays and how it's getting hot out, so what are these AC companies doing? What are these pool companies doing? I created a watch list, summertime companies. I have Simon Property Group on there because we talked about the malls opening up for the summertime. So I might take that one out. I don't know if that's a summertime play. I feel like that's just the play in general. But I have Leslie's Incorporated. I have Hayward Holdings. Those are those two pool supplies companies you mentioned. So I just threw them into the summertime plays companies. I have a watch list called cryptos. In my cryptos watch list, I got Doge, I got Bitcoin, I got Ethereum, I got Cardano, and I got XRP. These are all the cryptos that I'm currently investing. Actually, a few of them that I'm invested in. I also
what about SafeMoon and SHIB? Like, come on.
I was just about to, but SafeMoon and SHIB, they're not on Yahoo Finance for me to even pull them up. So that's why they're not on the watch list, or not on this watch list. I have current positions. So a current position, those are my option plays. Like, what are my option plays looking like? What am I currently in? Right now, I'm currently in on the spot. And I think we talked about this on the weekly wrap-up, Gets, how, the market was up the end of last week. We're thinking we still could be in a downtrend. I got a put option, so we'll wait to see. My option expires in a couple weeks. But in my current positions, I got the spot. I'm looking to see what it do.
Right.
Then I got my long positions. These are companies that I kind of want to hold it, just sit on and hold. I got a gang of them. Are you familiar with CIDM?
It sounds familiar.
CIDM is pretty much a company that they distribute independent movies, television, and other short form content in the US, Canada, and New Zealand. So they're not a competitor yet with Netflix and Roku and all them, but they're in that stratosphere, but they're very, I'm not going to say penny stock because they're trading at $1.18. But I have them. I got this company, Zomedica. They're at 74 cents. I got Blue Sphere Corporation, Fubo. Denison Mines Corporation, Sundial, Plug, which Plug, you know about my position with Plug. I had them back in $2. They shot up to 80. Now they pulled back considerably. Plug is at $24 right now.
Right.
So I'm starting to wonder if I should jump back in, or maybe they're just completely spiraling, and I just need to wait to see how low will they go.
I mean, those are one of those companies that Plug is still losing money. So Plug is one of those growth companies, So like looking at the chart, Plug look like they got further to drop. And
that's why I'm just sitting on them. Yep.
The company, they got hot real fast.
They did.
And now, they're tanking. They're just coming back down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, me personally, I wouldn't be in them. Not just buying the stock right now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's time yet, because I feel like it's got further to go down.
Exactly.
I mean, they look like they're straight up in correction.
Yeah.
The 50. I'm looking at the 50-day. Looks like it's about to cross the 200 to the downside. So, I mean, for me, if anything, I might be buying puts on Plug. Thank you for mentioning them.
That's why we're here, Gets. We talk, we chop it up, we make moves potentially if we hear something,
Right.
So I'm not going to run through all the stocks on that long-term position list, but I got my airlines, my cruise lines, all those are long-term holds. Then I've got a watch list called fast movers. These fast movers, or if I'm like, I think I want to just jump into an option maybe this week, what are my fast movers doing? Because those fast movers are companies, they're going to jump up 5, 10, 15, $20 in a day easily. Those companies like a Fiverr or a Shopify or Etsy or Tesla, Snowflake, companies like that, they have big movements on a daily basis. Those are the kind of companies that I want to play options on because I know they're going to move. The question is, can I jump in on them when they're moving in the direction that I'm banking on them moving on?
Right.
I want to bet on the right movement. I also have my EV stock and infrastructure watch list. And again, that's self-explanatory. That's EV stocks. So Nikola, which I know you hate. I got Tesla. I got NEO. I got this one, Xpeng. I got this other one, Fuel Cell Energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's my watch list. And then I also have potential growth stocks.
Well, hold on. Before you mentioned Nikola, and I'm gonna say they did come out with some good news the other day about some deal that they were doing. I'm still not fucking with them, but I just wanted to give you that. You know what I'm saying? I'm toss you. Give you that alley-oop.
Appreciate that. Yeah. And I'm slaying that thing down when I pull out with this $1 million off Nikola.
That's real talk. But but I will say, looking at that chart, thank you for mentioning that one too, because I think that one is about to get some heavy puts put on it. Okay. So, they're 200, been over the 50, and they look like they on decline. So, but that was good news the other day. So you got that.
Hey, but the whole point, and I'm glad I'm running this list down, because again, the whole point of the watch list is to go through every now and then, see what's going on with them. What kind of news is up with them? Is there something up? Is there time for a new play? Is something going on where I can jump in on a put, jump in on a call, or should I just buy long term and sit on it? Or should I sell? Is it time to sell something because this company's now came up with some horrible news and it's time to get out and preserve my initial investment? Risk management. So that's the whole point of a lot of times when I'm going to look into the markets, I'm looking at my watch list first. Unless me and you are chopping it up online or offline, and you give me a little tip or a nugget, or my pops gives me something, or somehow I come across some news. If none of that happens, I'm just looking at my watch list. Because as you see, I got a gang of stocks on my watch list, and I haven't even mentioned all of them. Yeah. So the whole point of me bringing that up is, people, if you're out there listening, you want to create your watch list, and you want to create different categories for those watch lists, so you know what each one of those things represents. Your long-term plays, your short-term plays, your options plays, your cryptos, like whatever it is. And again, you always do what's best for your portfolio. So you got to come up with the appropriate title for your watch list. But it's just something to look into, something to think about. It's just all definitely part of that smart money talk,
Yeah. I'm definitely feeling you there. I mean, I've got a bunch of watch lists. I was sitting here going through them, and I actually got to clean some of them up. But it's like I actually just started making a new watch list, just for my day trading, swing trading, and it's got like the Cat, the Home Depot, the Palantir, Disney. It's got a bunch of those stocks because that's my big thing. I said I have my leaps, my long-term options that I'm holding.
Okay.
But then I want to hedge right now. The market is, inflation is rising, so those growth stocks are going to be dropping. So I want to hedge. So I have the watch list, so I can look at all those things, and they're not all going to be dropping because you have things like Cat and Home Depot that are going to be going up right now.
Right.
But so that way I can keep making money.
Yep.
I can go through my watch list, look at the charts every day, and I like to look in the morning. I like to look at before the market closes, especially because before the market closes, and you've talked about this. Before the market closes, you look for that. You might find something that has that perfect setup. It's like, all right, this is prime. It's prime time for a move to the upside or the downside. So then I can go into look at the options chain, and I just want to swing trade this. I just want to just overnight, just before the market closes, I'm gonna buy, and I'm gonna sell it tomorrow. But I'm gonna buy something that's only good for this week or next week, which is risky, but I can go in there and I can look at and figure out, what's my open interest and everything else, pick my position and make a play. And then the next day, get out and I take my 10%, 20%, 100%, whatever it is, or maybe I take a loss, but I took the chance, because that's what we're doing in the market, right? We roll the dice. We're not gonna be right 100% of the time.
Facts.
But if you do nothing, you make nothing.
Ooh, if you do nothing, you make nothing. And again, it's all about having those educators. And that's where the tools come in, the research, the strategies, the chopping it up with a partner or a friend that's into investment. Start your own little group, get into a Discord. Get into our Discord, the Stocks is Talking Discord. Come get some new ideas. But that's how you make those educated decisions. So although it's a gamble, you're gambling with smart money potential. You feel me?
Right.
And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. But again, folks, Ibn Getz, we are not financial advisors. We're simply two cats that love investing, and we love to talk about it. You always have to do your due diligence, trade at your own risk, trade at your own discretion, because it's a gamble, as we said. But always make sure that you're doing what's best for your portfolio. I want to make sure everybody's out there following us. We're on the socials. The socials are lit right now, Getz. We're on Facebook. Stocks is Talking Podcast with Ibn Getz. We're on Instagram. IB_Getz_podcast. We're on Twitter as well. Look us up. I don't remember the handle. I ain't gonna hold you. We had a whole funny piece on the wrap up, and I still don't.
How you still?
I still don't know. It might be Ib_Getz_pod. It might be something like
killing
that.
me right now. That's supposed to be your piece. Like you be a king like that. You're supposed to know.
I don't know, but it's all good. Come
check us out on YouTube though. Check us out on YouTube on the Stocks is Talking with
Stocks is Talking Podcast. We're on YouTube as well. The YouTube is popping. We're also on the Discord.
Hit us up so we can send those Discord invites. Like, you know what I'm saying? You killing the game right now with it. I mean, I can't believe this. Like And Twitter still can't get no love.
Yo, Gets, don't do me like that. Next time we do a wrap up, we do something, we gonna have the Twitter ready for y'all. You know what? We done rambled so much. I got it up right now. At ib_Gets_pod. We on Twitter. Come see us. How you feel about that, Gets? We out here. You feel me?
At
the end of the day, we came, we saw, we conquered. That's it. That's all, folks.
We out.